Boom, boom. Now let me hear you say wayo. I said boom, boom, boom. I was about to say wayo. Welcome back to the Cosas Verde show, where we cover Bitcoin price action, altcoin price action, and I try to answer your questions during the live shows to help you have a more profitable crypto journey. Bitcoin has a lot of pressure down. However, we got 3 strikes of bullish divergence on the 1-hour chart, which often gets a little bit of play. And from yesterday non-live video, just the YouTube video that I uploaded, I asked viewers to draw 3 different lines on their charts. And if we zoom in, take off the EMAs that we have, actually, yeah, so from yesterday's video, the 3 lines that I asked viewers to draw were this orange line up here, this line here, and this line here, and these are all the 3 lines that have come into play with Bitcoin. However, at this bottom here, though, bottom line, there is a chance for a bounce here on the 1-hour chart, and my VIPs in Discord were just showing me another reason for potential bounce, but I'm not going to use other people's ideas. But this 1 hour, 3 strikes of bullish divergence could end up giving a little bit of oomph to Bitcoin, and enough so that it could break a rule, a channel rule, and this is a macro channel rule. So price is going to be slightly more unpredictable, I feel, from today leading into tomorrow's market open, and perhaps even till noon on the 13th. So let's dive into this charts. Let me draw some magic squiggly lines to show you how price might behave in an if-then scenario, and I'll try to also identify exact key points for you that you would draw on your chart and say, if price above, then bullish, if price below, then bearish, or if price here, then either way, don't trade. So let's dive into these charts. At the end of this, if I remember to do it, I will try to let you all know a little futures trading tip, and something that I've been concentrating on a personal basis recently, and just a mental strategy to help me become more profitable outside of studying charts. I'll try to do that at the end here. Okay. Breaking rules. Bitcoin has, actually, it might be easier if I zoom out. This is the entire channel. This channel goes back to the 69K top. Almost 100% of Bitcoin price action since the 69K top has been in this channel. Bitcoin has, so I'm going to zoom into current price, top of the channel, bottom channel, point of control is this orange and black. So it's come back to the middle, which is expected. Most of the play in a channel should be close to the point of control, but there's something interesting happening here. Typically, when you go below any channel line, so not going up to it. So this is, if price were down here and raced up to this line and got rejected like this, price does not need to come back down to the next channel line before you bounce through. So coming up to get rejected is not the same thing. That's the polar opposite. Well, it's the inverse. If price goes below a channel line and then gets rejected by it, the channel rules are you have to go down the next line before you can get a bounce, before you even can attempt. And this is a macro channel that dates back, since the 69K top, November 2021. So the rules, have a strong chance of applying as channel rules. But if you zoom in here and look at something else, it's going to be so there's something else giving a completely different story. And this is why I'm thinking price, for me at least, I don't think it's going to be highly predictable. What did I just do? I made that go away somehow. All right. Low, higher low, higher low. This is the RSI 1 hour. I'm on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so dropping, 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 dropping. Lowest low, higher low, higher low. Right? 1 hour. See what that does on price. And this is a neat way to visualize bullish divergence. Low, lower low, lower low. But on RSI, this was the lowest low, and this created a higher low on RSI, and this created a higher low on RSI. And I'm telling you, the way bullish divergence works is on Yeah, on local, especially local bottoms. So this could be in a bear market, bull market, but on local bottoms, when you get three strikes of bullish divergence, typically the largest time frame that you'll ever see three strikes is usually the 4 hour. If you see three strikes of bullish divergence, just like I showed you on the 1 hour chart, but on the 4 hour, that means a pretty major move is coming, oftentimes. And I think there's only once, there might have been twice, but I think there's only one time in Bitcoin history where a bottom got three strikes of daily bullish divergence. So usually bullish divergence, and so the point of what I'm saying here is to appreciate the potential power of the 1 hour chart, right? Because in Bitcoin's history, in the situations where you have three strikes of bullish divergence at a bottom, which isn't all bottoms. So I'm not counting all bottoms in Bitcoin history. Not all of them satisfy those parameters. But when you do have three strikes, which is very common, the largest time frame you'll see is the daily. I think there's only one time. 4 hour is rare as well, but 1 hour often gets really big moves. Because a lot of them, like the highest time frame is the 1 or 2 hour chart where you got three strikes, but on the 4 hour it only had two strikes, and so it didn't quite get the 4 hour. Does that make sense? The 1 hour chart is not quite, it's not nearly as powerful as, it's a moderately powerful chart, but the three strikes of bullish divergence, I feel for the time frame, it gets a little bit more power. And it's hitting exactly that line. So let me zoom in even more. It's hitting that line that I said in my yesterday's YouTube video that everybody's looking at it. So this is the same line that I drew. And because everybody's looking at it, and you got that bullish divergence, and people look at that, it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy that, Bitcoin does not come to touch this line first. Because everybody's looking at this line, and a lot of people trade hard off of three strikes of bullish divergence, especially the 1 hour. It's a really good play. The last time I tried it was very, very profitable. I guess I can go back and show you where that was. No, it's not the last time, but the last time I talked about it on camera was... I don't think I'm going to be able to go back. Yeah, I will. Bam. All right, so I'm going back to the bull run. And I can probably it was this one right here. I think it was this guy. I think it had three strikes perfectly. Let me zoom in. Yeah, this was a perfect, that's exactly it. Look. 1, 2, 3. So this is the 1 hour chart. 1, 2, 3. And it was a big, big move. It actually got the reversal back, right? So going from a daily downtrend, technically, back up. So it's a pretty good signal. I'm surprised I actually remembered exactly what it was, but I took a very large trade there and I remember it. So this can work out pretty well. And again, and don't confuse this. I'm not giving you an alert signal. I'm not taking it. I think, and so I started off by saying this is going to be a little unpredictable. So there are two things that are pretty powerful rule-wise that are completely conflicting. And there are two things that I use heavily. I use RSI heavily and I use channel lines heavily, and they're in disagreement now. Therefore, for me, that's an environment that's like going to a casino that is rigged against you and has worse odds of winning. Why would you go to that casino, right? If you're gambling, well, you would go to a fair casino with like the odds as is mathematically, as each game should have exact odds, right? For the most part. And therefore, if I were to take that trade, even though one of my two things are telling me that would be me going, like, I'm setting myself up to have worse odds. So I'm not going to do that. Does that make sense? So I don't want to, hopefully I didn't say anything that would stimulate anybody to like go hit market buy on 100x. Don't do that. But I can see that the example I showed, and I said I took a big trade, and it's the same thing. I can see how somebody might do that, so please, I was not trying to create a call to action by any means. However, it is the same situation. I will say that, but personally, I'm not going to take it for the reason stated. And that's what has me conflicted. Now, what else can I say about Bitcoin price is traditional markets. So what I'm about to say is going to agree with the idea that things are, I feel, unpredictable right here. Traditional markets have core CPI data coming out on tomorrow, the 13th at 8:30 a.m. New York. it's expected to be pretty bad. Bad news regardless. And so bad news meaning it will be news that creates incentive or doesn't take away incentive of the Fed to raise rates more, right? So it's news that won't make the Fed ease up, right? And so that would make the stock market be bearish. So with that, this move, so if I go to traditional markets here, it's possible, I like SPX a little bit better actually. It's possible that this, move down from here to here. So today and yesterday, it's possible that that is baking in the effects of that, and price might actually move sideways and float up until the worst news comes out with earnings reports of retail and like major companies at the end of July. So there's bad news coming out that's probably gonna, be bearish for the stock market, which is bad for Bitcoin. And you would think, okay, it's safe to be, bearish. Right? Things are going to continue going down. However, it's possible within that context that it's very likely going to be bearish. Let's say it does come out bearish. It's possible that this just baked that in already, right? And now the next economic high impact event is going to be late July. So therefore, things can just, kind of get floaty and flighty. Does that make sense? And in the end, things are unpredictable. That leads to a heightened chance of sideways price action. Sideways within a range. So that could be, a fairly big range where you can long and short within it, from day to day or whatever. So it doesn't mean it's so minuscule of price action that you can't trade it. It could have some volatility with it, but it's still sideways in the context. Actually, let me go to Bitcoin. Make myself small. Until the end of the month, what could happen is, do I have a micro channel? No, just kind of looking at this. If you call this a channel, it's possible that Bitcoin might move sideways. Like maybe not go over maybe play with the point of control, go like this, go here. And that's about the end of, that would be about the end of July, where that economic news comes out, the July 31st right here. And so let's say if this was a actual range that I had going something like this, it's possible that it comes up to play with the point of control of this. Let me take off my macro channel. That would probably help. Macro channel off. All right. Felt like a Power Ranger. All right. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. All right. But channel off. Here we go. And it's possible that it does something to this effect and waits to go down. Therefore, so connecting those two ideas, there are multiple reasons to think that things are going to be slightly unpredictable and it's a worse casino to play in. And that heightens the chance of sideways movement. And so that would still be tradable. Look at the moves here. That's probably 10% or something. 13%. So that could be a 13% rise from here, which is, for altcoins, it could be pretty big, especially ones that have been fairly bullish, like Matic. Matic's been doing pretty well. Like Matic would probably have a pretty big move off that, even though I shorted Matic very nicely today. But I would be fearful. I took profits because now I think it's possible things could bounce up. Am I making sense here? So I think that when will analysis and educated guesses and trying to pick what's the most probable price path, when will that become a little clearer? I think at the closure of tomorrow, July 13th. That daily close on traditional markets, and perhaps even around 8 p.m. at night tomorrow, New York time, 8 p.m. New York time, or midnight London, 1 a.m. Berlin, that would be markets close and Bitcoin closes. And at that time, I think the path would be a little bit clearer. But particularly with traditional markets closing tomorrow around 4:30 or something, New York time, I think things will be clearer. And a follow-up TA to what's about to happen, I think I would have slightly better, I would be able to guess a little bit better. But right now, I really think it could go either way, and I took my profits on all but one small position personally, and because I'm fearful that it could go back up. Not fearful, but I think it's a strong possibility, but I don't know. So I am probably sitting tight for a bit. And the reason why this is valuable to identify, okay, so change of thought. This is very important. The reason why I go into detail when I don't know what's about ready to happen is because I cannot stress enough. Like, listen to what I'm about to say. The way I lose the most money when on my journey from 5K to 100K which I'm actually back to like 21K now. The Grim Reaper should come back soon. But anyway, the number one way that I've lost money, even more than just breaking rules and being stupid, which is almost half, but even more than that, is not identifying when I don't have a good edge. I would already be at like 40K in my journey had I selected impossibly, right? You can't do it exactly, but if I knew at the exact moment that the odds get worse, had I quit trading when it starts getting choppy, I would be way higher up in my journey than I am now. It's probably, I think it's the number one way I've had losses throughout this journey that I've been documenting on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. So with that, actually, we can go to that and let's check out how I've been doing here. All right. So positions open. I had multiple positions today, and I let go of all of them but one. I didn't have a rhyme or reason. It's just because the one had the smallest amount of profit, and I just didn't think it would go up, even if Bitcoin bounced. Chainlink, I don't think it's going to do much. So I decided to leave it open, and it's a good idea because it's been going down since. But so this is a short. My closed positions from today. So my closed positions today start here. Okay, those three. So the 12th, the 12th, the 12th, and this starts the 11th, right? Clearly had a pretty rough day on the 10th. I tried longing ETH, breaking rules. So these two are actually breaking rules. So these losses were not from identifying choppiness. It's just me being stupid, literally breaking a rule. But you could see that was a rough 2 days. So the 8th, I tried longing ETH, didn't work, and then 2 days, so I took a day off, it looks like, and then 2 days later I tried again, and like it even kicked my ass even harder. That was rough. But anyway, I've had a nice roll, and if I scroll down a little bit, it goes in. You can see how I get in tune and out of tune with the market. See, wave of green, that's big wave of green. That's good. Small, so those are pretty big losses though, but there's a lot of green there too. 742, 3, 500, all that stuff. So that was kind of back and forth. Inching up, so that's my first page. So that goes back to the 2nd of this month. So this is like what real trading, looks like. If you're a human, if you're a bot, like this would be like, I don't know, 2 minutes of trading. And so if I go up to assets, I'm back at 21.1. So I think the last door that the Grim Reaper took out was 22K on Twitter. So I'm pretty close. It took me 2 weeks to climb back, but I made a higher low in my account essentially. All right. Therefore, here we go. I don't know what the hell's getting ready to happen on Bitcoin. It can easily go down, and if it goes down, it's going to hit the bottom of the channel, which is right here. I'll give you I'll try to give you a rough figure here, and then I'll start answering some questions. So start thinking about what you're going to ask me. What am I looking for? This okay. So it would be somewhere around 8. So it would be this horizontal. So this makes perfect sense actually. Yeah, right there, like a double low there. I could see it coming down to 18.5. Okay, that would be if it starts breaking down from the line I asked you to draw yesterday, right? And so really yesterday I said, I think it's going to be all about this line, right? And this line, it really is. And these are the lines I asked you to draw yesterday. And if you want to go back to that video, you probably should, because I show you how to do it. I think these lines, you're going to be able to see in the changing probabilities of how price on the small candles interact with it. So right now you can't tell. It's at the bottom one. It looks like it's bouncing, but you haven't seen it interact with this, and you haven't seen price interact with this. So it's still unknown. Like I need to see the information, right, of the candles. So I have this information, yes, but I need the information from when price interacts with this, and I need the information from when price interacts with that in order to have a good grasp of better odds. And I'm going to a rigged casino if I try it now. And these 3 lines are key for pivoting with your stance. And so if price goes below this and you use it as resistance, I would probably get bearish pretty fast. But if price comes above here, I'm not going to get bullish right away because it could just do a failure rejection pattern and then come down. But what would be decisive quickly is the bearish sense. So what would be the most decisive things when things become very probable is if it goes below, uses this as resistance, then breaks the first low it made as it came below right there. So at this moment here, when it goes below that point. So rejection, failure, break below the original low, boom. At that moment, as it breaks below here, right there, that would instantly make me pretty bearish. But going up though, I won't be able to instantly become bullish, which honestly, if you think about it, is pretty good because things are down right now. Right, and if you want, I can, before I answer questions, I might take one quick moment for anybody who doesn't want to do the effort, put in the effort to go back to the previous video to draw these lines. Here are the 3 lines. And again, you don't have to worry about it making a, how did one of my lines disappear again? You don't have to worry about making it a sexy channel or anything like mine is, but I'm missing a channel line. Wow. There we go. Don't worry about making it look like a channel. I'm just going to give you 3 lines here, and then I'll answer questions. Go back. I would start with, I mean, the 1 hour chart is probably fine. You can be on the 1 hour chart, and you want to maximize your screen until this year's low. So that happened on middle of June. June 18th was this year's low of Bitcoin price when it crashed down to 17.5 or whatever. You want that on the left side of the screen on the 1 hour chart, expand it. And you essentially connect lows to the more recent lows in late June. So June 18th to late June lows. But you want to make it a like a range, because it's not really one line. It's a range, right? And as you can see, this range has been exactly what price has been bouncing around. Like, it's real. It's really there. So I'm on the 1 hour chart, and I'm on Bitstamp. If you want to do it on the exact same exchange, I'm on Bitstamp. But most, if you use Coinbase chart or whatever, it should be pretty similar. And so you can see how this ultimate low doesn't 100% perfectly connect to that low, right? I made it a parallel lines. And so that's how you would do that. And then this line here, if you don't want to make it a full channel, I would connect the wick high of June 15th to to the wick high of July 5th. Yeah, those would work. June 15th wick high to July 5th wick high, and just run a line, and extend it, and that will be the top channel line. And then you'll have each of these 3 lines the same. All right, and now we're off to answer some questions. Hey, Jed. I just saw you on Discord. That's funny. Crypto Cowboy. Wayo, can you look at CRB Curve? Yeah, I've actually been liking trading Curve. I'm not a fan of altcoins trading. I like Cardano, but for trading and ETH, but I don't count ETH as an altcoin. But Curve has been, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's been good to me. But it's too volatile for me. My personal liking, but for some reason, I've had a good understanding of how it's going to move. So it's not the perfect blend for me of volatility and predictability, because it's not just max volatility and max predictability. Because max volatility is you want medium, like mama bear's porridge, right? You want it in the middle. And usually altcoins like this are way too volatile, but I feel it's so predictable that kind of counterbalances it, and it makes it just as profitable as average, as what I like to make my average. Okay. Curve. What was specifically your question? Curve, short time frame for today and tomorrow. Will it pump to short again? Okay, actually, this is one that I'm planning on trying to short. So, but I wouldn't do it now. Okay. So we're looking at Curve on the small time frame. Live question asked on the short time frames, what do you think it'll do in the next couple of days? Does it have a chance of pumping? Looking at a fresh chart here. Yeah, this is the chart I use, so I don't have a lot of lines on this, so we're looking at bare naked price. The first thing I'm seeing, so I don't have an answer in my head yet. I'm going to have to think about this. The first thing I'm seeing here is you got a big drop. So essentially from Bitcoin's 69K top here, this topped out a month after or whatever, but it's had a strong sense of downward motion. And after it has a large drop within all this, so it goes drop, consolidate, drop. Well, this just pumped. So that was a little bit different. drop, consolidate, drop, consolidate. So this is coming just after a big drop. And all of this is, in that context, this is a relatively aggressive consolidation. This looks more like it's going to be a whole dead, like this is a dead cat bounce zone. This is more than consolidation at this point. So this is drop, this is a good normal consolidation, drop, and this is hyper bullish. So we got to keep that in context. Like, what type of move are we dealing with right now? Well, it's after a big drop and it's consolidating fairly aggressively to the point where you could call it this is a legit bounce. So it's in a bounce, and the question is, in a bear market, how high will it bounce? So this is an aggressive one. I would say usually when I look left from the previous drop, so it's already past looking left from this drop. So you look left, like this would be the horizontal wick low, wick high. That's the anatomy. That's like where the first local high should be made typically. And guess what? That's exactly where the first local high was made. So that's the anatomy of a typical drop. It just usually races up there, right to, if you look left, wick high, wick low, that's your range. It always goes there. Bitcoin does it, altcoins do it, all that. So that part of the anatomy is normal. What's not normal now is that it's outperforming Bitcoin structurally, and it's now looking left with the previous drops, with the previous drop in its wicks. So I would say that this wick here to that wick here, it already hit it. Oh, wow. So that's just where it went. Okay, so see what I did there? I didn't even realize that's exactly where price has gone. I thought it might have come up a little shy. But yeah, wick low to wick low. That's all I'm looking at. And I swear, if you just get in the habit of doing that on the 1 hour, even if you trade like the 3 minute and 5 minute, if you just zoom out to the 1 hour, I usually like the 1 hour, even though I'm in the 4 hour back here. But if you zoom out just for a minute and look left and look for wicks down and wicks up, right? If you trade really small time frames and make horizontals there, and then zoom back into your to your low time frames, it helps so much. It just helps you so much. All right. Anyway, and that's how I short Cardano, by the way, in case you didn't know. I literally just look left at wicks, and it's very, very successful. Anyway, okay. So, gosh, that could have been the height, man. I would say it's going to make a lower high. It's kind of unpredictable. So it does look like it's going to get a bounce here. The question to me is, will it bounce at a 45-degree angle and then use this as true resistance? So you'll get a failure rejection pattern. Honestly, I think that looks kind of probable. It looks like it could easily hit $1, right at $1, like exactly on the nose. But then you got to think more. That's a psychological number. Some games will be played. Sometimes even exchange bots will want to push it up higher to get people out of the shorts before the short happens. So this has, small enough liquidity within different exchanges, futures platforms, that the bots of that exchange will do that. They can and do it. They know where your stops are, and they can and do go hunt them. Gosh, that's just, yeah, I would say it could get funky around here. It would either come up shy of $1, so 982 to avoid people perfectly shorting there, or it's going to go there, come down a little bit, and then then go like this on a very quick candle, and then get its move to get shorters out. Because that's a very psychological number. That's what I would see happening. What would make me change my tune before that in a bearish sense? So more bearish than my number one guess, I guess if we could say, is this horizontal here. I would say that if price interacts with, honestly, you don't have to do that. Just look back let's go to the 1 hour chart. I would look back 2 local highs on the 1 hour chart, 1, 2. If it gets rejected by there, then start getting bearish really fast. This is going to be out of play. You want to see it rush through here. And if it does get rejected, it could form a higher low. So I wouldn't get super bearish right at just a normal rejection there. So boom, and this level is at about 0.937. Like this wouldn't make me bearish because it could easily just continue right a higher low. But if it gets rejected and goes below the first low there, I mean you're gonna get bearish real fast. So this would be what it looks like. The most bearish case, but I still think it's going to come up to 940 or maybe 938. I think that is the most bearish case. My number one guess would be that it comes up to $1. So I'm going to give you three guesses. Most bearish guess here at around 936. My middle of the road guess, which it almost looks most probable, but it might be a tie because the stock market really might not. It just might go down tomorrow, which this would be what happens. So my tied for first guess is $1. And then the more bullish thing, if Bitcoin price truly can go sideways because in the stock market things are baked in, I would say just do this. Try to make a best fit line. And then draw a point of control. So if Bitcoin truly does go sideways for the month of July, this would get some work done. And what I mean by that is it'll go at least to the point of control or perhaps even to the top of the channel and just follow this pattern. That's so that would be, I guess that's close to $1. So $1 kind of does satisfy that. If it hit the point of control exactly here, I guess that would be $1. But it's possible that, over the month of here, let me block off July. So I might have to go to the 2-hour time frame. See, July ends here. Oop. It's tough to tell. I mean, this next move, the most bullish, I would say, is $1.25. That is possible. I don't think it's the most likely. So tied for first most likely is the two numbers I gave you earlier. I guess third place would be the top of this area, and that would be just like a double top type of deal. That could easily happen at about $1, just under $1.10. Is my number 3 guess. But 1 and 2 I gave you earlier, number 3 is $1.10. So yeah, this move could have some legs, but then again, as it moves up, you're going to be able to tell as you get more information. And when you get this information, how do small time frame candles interact with 937, the horizontal at 937? Once you see that happen, you'll be able to then have more predictability. Are we doing $1? Are we doing lower lows? But you have to wait to have that information. It's like you don't get a secret clue until it hits this. And then at that time, you get to flip the card over, right? So right now we have the like in Monopoly, the question mark, the whatever that is, right? We have it, but we haven't read it yet. And you get to flip it over to see what you get. You get to open your present here. And that's how I would interpret that. So that's curve for you. All right. Yeah, that one was tough. Things are tough when it's a little unpredictable, and I guess that does go in line with. I can't really tell what the market's getting ready to do. All right. Oh, I asked the first question. Sorry, crypto funds. All right, can you show how to find levels for coins that might go below their all-time low? Levels for coins. Okay, that's a good question. Actually, that's a really good question. Well, one way to do it. Okay, I'll give you. That's a really good question. All right. How to find lows for altcoins that are breaking into all-time lows. So price discovery down, how can you predict where it's going? Excellent question. I'm going to record this one. That's a really good question. Let's see if I don't mess up the answer here. I have two answers. The first one is something I kind of bash on a lot because my analysis usually gets it a little bit better than it, or it has better reasoning, is the fibs. I don't like to use fibs a whole bunch, but in price discovery down or price discovery up, oftentimes fibs are, tied for the best at least, maybe the best tool that you can use. I would say tied for the best because a lot of times trend lines work really well as well. That's how I literally called the B Pro top on the exact day it happened live, right? And because it was a trend line, I didn't use a fib, but so trend lines work pretty well too. But one answer is fibs, and then second answer is trend line. But if you can get a major fib hitting a trend line, then that would work as well. But these are, because it's all-time lows, there aren't going to be any horizontal trend lines, right? Then the two answers, you can mix them, but I'll keep them separate. And this is a coin that I thought had a decent chance if Bitcoin were going to make more all-time highs outside of 69K. Obviously, that was a massive mistake. So I'm using this as an example because this is something I thought had a chance to do well. And I wanted exposure in the NFT space. Good thing I bailed. I bailed here when it didn't. Yeah, when it broke this trend line here, going up at higher low, I got out. I just wanted exposure in the NFT space. All right. As much as I ran about NFTs, so the fib I'll try first is you can do a simple fib retracement. Let's go. How would we do this? No, wrong way. I don't know if fib retracement is the best way to do this. There we go. So start from bottom to top for a fib retracement. And a lot of buyers are coming in, or bots are coming in as buyers because this hits the 618. Right, so fibs, do help a bunch, but a lot of times things will go even beyond the last one, and here it's just it's just red skies falling. So honestly, with the assumption that this is not the all-time low, however this fib did help, there's nothing else below here. And if that were to happen, then you could play around with fib extensions, or a trend-based fib extension specifically, and you could do so. It's in the same area. Trend-based fib extension, you usually take it at the pinnacle of a move to the low of the opposite move, and then to the height of the correction, and it's all past that as well. So fibs aren't going to be very helpful here, but they were helpful in understanding anticipating when will buyers step in for a bounce. All right, so fibs is one way, and that's how you would do that. The second answer that I like the most is to form trend lines going in that direction like this, just identifying where is the vast majority of trading volume right now. It forms like a river, right? So start on any altcoin. Doesn't have to be this one. Like, this is what everything's doing. Just try to realize, wow, like almost all of price is between here. So what is probable? Until the bottom, most of price will also be between there, right? Using that simple logic. And if you wanted to get fancy with it, you could start making a point of control, all that stuff, and you can make it a legit macro channel if you wanted. I'll just do a half-ass one here real quick. Something like this, and I don't know, here we get the upper, get the lower, something like that. Here, and we're good. All right, some channel like that. And now with the channel, okay, well, it could go on forever and it hits zero, sure, but here's the trick. You mix channel with a date on the time axis. So now that we know that very, very likely, as almost 100% of price action has been in here, 100% of price action will continue being in here for any coin. You can do this on Chainlink too. And you just have to pick a cutoff. What timing on this axis, so the time down here, no, September, November, what time am I guessing? So let's guess February of 2023, which is kind of my guess. Maybe late January, something like that, 2023. Well, if it's around the middle point of control, this coin is going to be way down here at 0.0029. So this is the middle of the channel. Price will almost, like, has an extremely high chance of being between the top line and the bottom line during February, assuming a bottom hasn't been hit, then it'd break out, right? But if that is, if the bottom does take that long until January of next year, it's very safe to say price will either be below this or above this. It also has a decent chance of being close to the middle because look, most price action has happened near the middle. So that would be my guess. And that would be the second way and my preferred way to essentially guess bottoms. But I tried, it can get tricky though. It's not foolproof because that served me well for a Bitcoin and Litecoin bottom in 2017. But things like coronavirus and other bottoms that I've tried doing things on, trickier things do happen, but it gives you a good estimate. So it's not guaranteed to work. And I don't want you to watch this video thinking, I know the bottoms, and you sell your house to buy Trias at 70 cents or whatever, because that's where February is on the trend. I don't want to give anybody confidence in doing anything like that. So I want to have a disclaimer. This isn't guaranteed to work, but it helps you get an understanding, first off, how low it can go, which is really good for noobs, because it's hard for new people to accept how low altcoins will go, right? It's very, I know most of you know what I'm talking about. Everybody, really. And if you're somebody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, whew, either you're an OG from 2011 or you're under a rock, one of the two. That's my disclaimer for using this method. Please don't go selling things and putting all your money on limit buys for altcoins at specific levels just because you did this trick. However, on the flip side of that, it does give you a very good. It's a very solid, educated guess that has a decent chance of getting things right. Okay. No, I don't trade Tezos. Hey, Master, when recession? I know this is not funny, but better. Half-ass at the beginning of the stream asked when recession. I think, isn't recession confirmed? Would that be confirmed at the end of the month? With earnings reports? I think it would be the end of the month. So I think it would be end of the month. Yeah, that would be when it's actually confirmed. Come on. 7:15. All right. Dinner's ready. Yeah, I would say that. All right, let's take a poll. Should I just shave my head? I think I'm at the point where I should just shave the damn thing. I think I've made the choice in my head. Like, I even got some Harry's razors that I never use because I break out in rashes if I shave my face and neck. But don't know why I bought them. I just did. All right, here we go. Can you look at Curve? So I did Curve. Watching from Senegal. Wow. Holy cow. Oh, Rocket Mail. Nice to have you. Good to see people from different places here. Quite some data is showing bottom signals, but I'm feeling these could be wrong for the first time in 12 years because the traditional markets seem to have a way to go. Do you think the bottom is in? Patrick, that's a great question. Yeah, I don't. I think the data from the previous two bear cycles that had lows, obviously, I think the data. The context around those bear markets is completely different. Therefore, one should not expect a similar result of the last two lows to compare to what's going to happen this time because the context is different, right? So context is very important because, if you just say F you to somebody, right? F you, depending on the context, it could have a totally different meaning. Like F you in one context means you're actually mad at somebody. But in another context, it could mean, man, that was a good joke, but you get burned. So I wish I could share some of the burns my wife has given me. Yeah, she gave me one today too at the gym. It's like, but it's not something I can say on YouTube. But if somebody burns you really good with a nice joke, like a best friend or a spouse or something, you would say, fuck you, because that was a good joke, right? Totally different meaning. It means, damn, that was a good one. And so the context, which is the U.S. and global economy, and wartime and all that stuff, totally different. So yeah, I don't think the bottom is in. However, if the context were similar, then yeah, I would honestly, there are some signals that of mine. I'll show you one right now. Yeah, let me show you one. If I can remember it. Yeah, it is this. Okay, so these are my proprietary ribbons that I built, but right around the time that the river begins going below the gray line, that's when the bottom's in. So this one, the bottom was a little delayed. So it began going in as it was actually kind of pumping up. It began, so the green, here, let me zoom way in there so you can see what I'm talking about. So all the colors is the river, right? Green and, you know, red and yellow and all that stuff, right? And this is like the wall. As the river begins going below the wall, that calls bottoms pretty well. Here, it was a little off. I mean, it's probably by a month or two. Yeah, 2 months off from getting it exactly from the point where the green touched the gray. It was 2 off. 2 months off. Here, the green goes below gray. And from the exact bottom, it was 27 days off. So it happened 27 days prior. Here, the coronavirus, it happened and the bottom already was in. But the bottom happens around this. That's 24 days off. And so it's a good bottom signal. And so look. We're way past it. Look at that. And if you go from green to bottom, it's probably around 27 to 60 days. Just like the other ones, right? So green crosses there to this bottom, 33 days. That's in the exact parameters. So if the context were similar, I would say, yeah, the bottom's in. That was it. Yeah, this is, yeah, it really does look like it. Yeah, there should be and what these ribbons do, the reason why they work so well is because they help you visualize what a bunch of other indicators are saying. For some reason, that's what they do. And it helps you understand not necessarily what bots are getting ready to do, but what it does is it tells you the parameters that the bots are working with. But the tricky part is you have to find the right time frame. But a lot of times the traditional market likes the 5-minute long ribbons and the 15-minute. That usually gets the boundaries of all the fake outs and all the stupid shit that happens. Or at least 90% of it. Yeah, so these ribbons, you know, they help, I don't know, for some reason it visualizes what is going on. It's as weird as that is. All right. Pump or dump? Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell if price is going to go up or down from here. There are two of the things I rely on the most. So like channels and RSI, those are some of the things I rely on the most. They disagree. RSI is saying we're going to get a jump from here, and my channel saying that breaks the rules. It's not going to happen. I can't tell. But there's a lot of value. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, there is so much value in quickly identifying when you can't tell. I'm telling you, from my journey from 5K to 100K, that's how I've lost the vast majority of my losses. Maybe not in terms of the number of losses, but the amount of money in my losses. I maybe not the vast majority. I would say the majority safely is not identifying when I don't have a good edge, or knowing I don't have a good edge and freaking trading anyway. I've done that a lot, so that counts as the same because I've definitely done that. And so, for example, in my when I give alerts to VIPs in the Discord community, again, links to that in the description section of all my videos. I only give alerts when there is high levels of certainty. So it's not like every trade I take, I create an alert for it, but the highest probability ones I do. And like today, it was the loosey-gooseyest alert I ever gave. Traditional markets, super bearish, but they pumped right into a short range, and my alert today was Just pick a coin and you can short it if you do it in this method. I gave a specific method on how to do it. And I was like, these are the coins that I picked, but you can do this probably on anything. And it actually worked out perfectly. I had a multi-$1,000 or maybe a $1,500 day, all at the same time, just from that alert. Like, short anything, but do it in this way in the entry. And I've never given an alert like that before. But the point is, I was very confident this morning. And I'm not confident just freaking, how many hours later, whatever, 7, 8 hours later, whatever, 9 hours later. Not confident now. So it's totally changed. And I even followed up with those trades. I'm closing it now because, actually, I'll just show you. We'll show you. Hopefully it doesn't crash my damn computer pulling this up. All right, so here is the follow-up to that. There it is I closed all my shorts, and because, besides Chainlink, because there are 3 strikes. Oh, you can't see that. Beep. So right when I closed my shorts, I gave a follow-up alert because the bullish divergence was just one of the major things that I talked about in the video today. So this was the follow-up alert to the trade alert, given a reason what I'm doing and the reasons why, and then when I'll begin. So I'm kind of giving a little bit of extra content here because you can read the pink, but it's not an exact entry. But this is the next. So just a heads up, if you want mild VIP content for free, this is what I'm looking for for my next entry. I forgot I had that on there. Sorry, VIPs in Discord. I watered you down by a little bit there, at least for what I'm thinking for next. All right. But as I do that though, what the pink stuff was saying there, I will be cautious because things, and I might not provide alerts for that. And if I do, I would suggest light entries because I think the predictability of it actually going down at that point, as it hits that the plan I had in there for when I'm not going to enter a trade until this happens, right? So I let them know I'm closing my shorts, and I strongly suggested, like, don't keep doing anything until this happens, right? So that was the follow-up. And when that moment happens, which it kind of looks like it's going to, essentially when another EMA is hit, like the 4-hour 10 EMA is hit again, I would probably enter very, very lightly because there is, that 1 hour, 3 strikes of bullish divergence, it could create a pretty big move up, like 10%, 15, it really could. So that is that. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to find levels. Do you trade Tezos? No, I don't. Okay. Would you consider volatility of DPR suitable for trading? All right, that's an interesting question. I don't know what DPR is. It's on KuCoin. On futures, no way. This would burn you. This would burn you so bad. This isn't on futures, is it? Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you can't trade this. It's too small of a cap. But trading on spot, if you're spot trading, there's not a lot of chances there to increase by selling high and buying back lower. With the assumption that this is only spot, so you can't use leverage or margin or anything, I would say it's not worth it trading on spot. If this is for some reason offered on futures or margin, I would say, let me look at it on a different time frame. I would say I would not. No, this looks ugly. Yeah, I would not trade this. No way. No. Yeah, you don't want things to look like that when you're trading futures. On spot, I could see justification because you could stack a bunch of limit sells above price anytime it's going up, with the chance that somebody hits market buy too strongly and they take all your orders. So I guess that would be one justification, because that happens a lot. And I do have one of my team leaders. She did that a whole bunch as the altcoin season was cooling down and Bitcoin was, sizzling down from 69K. It still worked until then. But like that person enjoyed or enjoys maybe still these large wicks and was able to trade them effectively on spot. But it looks like, I mean, how many days between here would it be worth it? That's 11 days, a month. Yeah, maybe that'd be worth it. 7 days could be worth it. But in general, no. On futures, I would not trade it, and on spot, I wouldn't trade it either. I don't like it. But it could be done. I don't want to discourage you. If you're like ass deep into this coin, you love it, you want to accumulate, it can be done, but you're going to have to try to essentially create these wicks by creating liquidity that goes from here down to here. And you'll have to probably spend, I don't know, probably an hour putting in all the limit sells. You just have to, you'd have to trick bots to take all your orders, which it can be done on small caps. And if anybody has questions on, how to do that, it's not trading that I try to teach or anything, but if you have questions, again, you can just join the Discord and ask me on one of the live chats that we have. They're video voice chats, so you can turn your video on, share your screen, and your microphone. All right. And honestly, one of my VIPs was like leading the VIP chat today because I had an interruption. So sometimes my team leaders or VIPs will take over, even during those calls. All right, let's see here. Would you consider the vol? How far down do you think Trias can go, realistically, assuming it survives the bear market? I mean, low, way under $1. A lot lower. It does have a chance to do something here. It could drastically change its course for a bottom if it breaks above here. But if it does break above here, I wouldn't get too excited because you want to wait to see how it interacts with this line once it comes back down for a low of some sort. Because the last time it broke out, it went straight back in the channel. So it worked positively for bulls there, but it'll likely, once it leaves the channel, it'll likely work negatively against bulls because bulls just got a big thumbs up. And so the next one will probably be a thumbs down if I had to guess. If it breaks out of here, I would guess it'll come right back in and still hit my target. But if it went above and used that as support, even if it's a slightly lower low, low goes up, makes a lower low, but on top of here, and boom, it could avoid this. But it's just so unlikely. So let me go to the 4-hour chart. And let's put on November. Let me go to the 12-hour chart. Let's say the lows in November. That's 4 cents. Yes, it can go way lower. It can literally lose 90% of its value from here. It's totally possible. I mean, because things are still dropping aggressively, I can't stress this enough. That means the bear market's not even close to being over. We're not even close to a bull run if things are still dropping. You have to have a year minimum of this bullshit. It's a great trading range, I'll tell you that. It's very volatile. Hundreds of percent range, but it just goes sideways forever until you almost want to leave crypto. But we haven't even gotten to that part yet. We're still dropping, right? This has got a long way to go. But at some point it does have to hit a bottom and then do that. So justifiably, where could that bottom be? I mean, it could be around 70 or 80 cents. That could be it. But it could be, if it keeps this damn trajectory, it could be under a dime. It could be under 10 cents. It could happen. Do I think that's most probable? No, but it could happen. It could go so much lower. So much lower. We're not even close to being done with this bear market. So whatever any altcoin is now, it's probably got at least a 50% drawdown from there. As crazy as that is, maybe for strong alts, maybe Matic, which has been doing really well, maybe only 40% more. That's a maybe. This could go so much lower. I think I said this at the beginning of the stream when I was doing these channels with the time. So it was actually when I was describing what I'm doing here. I said it helps new people imagine how low price can go. Not to guarantee it'll go down there, But that's literally what I just did. It can literally go to 5 cents. And it's got a good chance of doing it. Is it a probable chance over 50%? Maybe not. But this is a very valid option. And I chose November, not February. It would be lower if I chose February because this line would be moved this way. Like let's just do it. Like it could be under a penny by then. 0.005, half a penny. It could happen. Again, is that probable? I'm not saying it's probable, but the key is it helps you imagine how low it can go. And that's important, as opposed to just denying it. Like, that's not going to happen because I bought it at $12. You know, there's no way that's going to happen. You gotta get that out of your mind. If you're holding stuff down, well, it's probably because it's your first bear market, and everybody did it their first bear market. You just what you got. And would I start dumping everything now? Probably not. It's too late because you have an okay chance of selling close to a bottom. Like I wouldn't do that, But it could easily go down, and like the journey's not over. I mean, you're sweating it. Like we got a long way, folks. I cannot stress this enough. We might only be halfway there. Like Bitcoin could seriously go down into 4 digits. I mean, it's got a damn good chance of doing it because the context of the economic, global economy and just the state of shit going down. It could be 4-digit Bitcoin, which would mean Trias probably would hit like. Probably less than 5 pennies. I mean, it could get down to the penny range if that were to happen. Easily. All right? Okay. Hey, you're welcome, Patrick, for moving it up. Good night. Get some sleep. All right. London time. Yeah, it is, what is it, 11? Yeah. This actually, the time frame helps, especially with the light outside, but I can force my daughter to practice soccer for a little bit. I freed up some time. Bought myself a little bit, but I sacrificed the possibility of a nap or just an hour of not doing anything before I go from day job to crypto. Anyway, time. Yeah, Chronotech. I have somebody in Discord who always asks about this. Give me a second. Okay, dog, come on. I'll just bring him in. It's too late. Come on. Freaking big-ass baby dog. All right. Yeah, giant schnauzers are actually really cool freaking dogs, but they're giant babies. Oh my gosh, they're so needy. Like they just want to be on you as if they were a lapdog like a Yorkie. She's like, Doug, you are a freaking massive animal. All right, Chronos. Wow, this really had a nice jump. This is versus Tether, so I'm looking at it versus Tether. That's pretty aggressive. Wow, that's really aggressive. So something has changed. What has changed? It's not crypto or Bitcoin. I mean, this is a good sign. This is structurally more bullish than anything in crypto that I could see. I mean, nothing has gotten over there, like the consolidation of April. Hell, this has gone to 2 consolidations up. So drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation. So it went up 2 consolidations. Bitcoin hasn't even been close to it. Bitcoin hasn't even gotten relative to the top of it. Like, it hasn't even gotten to the bottom of the previous consolidation. So Bitcoin's like equivalently down here. Matic is about here equivalently, which is pretty strong. This is something's changing. There might have been, I don't know, you'd have to look into fundamentals into this. So without fundamentals, I would say that whoever bought into this is getting ready to get burned, and it's going to fall right back down into this channel, into this bottom one where most of the price action has been bouncing between these two. So my one guess is that this is way overbought. Whoever did this got, thought 20K was the bottom of Bitcoin. Actually, that's the same damn day, isn't it? Yeah, 18th of June. So that was 17. That's when Bitcoin hit 17.5. So somebody thought that was the bottom of crypto, final capitulation, and used, hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy, and clearly doesn't understand you don't market buy too big on small caps. like, it almost looks like it might be just a few people with a lot of money who wants this, based off of these. Yeah, no one in their right mind would market buy that hard. That's pretty silly. So it's somebody with money, not a brain. Wow. Yeah, that's stupid. Honestly, it makes me think it's going to come right back down here. However, I think fundamental analysis in terms of what the team is doing, and if they had, they got, customers using their blockchain or whatever, and in order to be part of the ecosystem now that their product's rolled out, the folks using it have to hold a certain amount of the tokens, right? And therefore, as they're getting customers, those customers are forced to essentially buy that and hold the token. I think a few ecosystems are like that. You would have to know about the fundamentals and the news of fundamentals, which I typically tell people like, oh, you don't need that, it's charts only, but this chart is telling me that will give you better information. The charts are leading me to think that this is a perfect time to use that as a core piece of information. Because the charts are saying something has changed. So if nothing has changed fundamentally, so I'm going to give you an if-then statement. If nothing has changed fundamentally, then this is likely just one or a few people who have a decent amount of money who thought this was the low and are bullish on this coin. So it's retail with money, not a brain, who thought 20K Bitcoin was the low and bought a shit ton, and now that their buy pressure is over, they thought it was bottom, so they bought a few times, they're done. Now that buy pressure is done, it'll return right back to where it was, and in this channel, it'll go down to $9, and it'll go back under $10 easily. I don't know which one's accurate, but at least you know where to go to get the right information. Do fundamental analysis first. If nothing has changed, then most probable back under a dime. That would be my analysis. Rarely do I give an analysis where I suggest go do fundamentals, but in this case, this is a perfect example. That's a big change in the chart. Something has happened. All right, HTR. So somebody, a non-community member before you. So again, everybody. Being in the community tiers, either one for live chats, I look at your questions first. So just a heads up there. And again, to check that out on most of my videos, maybe the non-live ones, there's a join button right below the videos. And then if you click it, it doesn't take your money instantly. Another video pops up describing what they offer. Okay, and if you're still on here, I'm going to have to probably end this sooner than later, but go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me and leave me a quick comment if you could to help out the algo. Give your creator a little bit of creator love there. And if you want to learn how to do channels like this in the Discord community and for the Cryptillion YouTube tier, I made a tutorial video, edited video where I cut out all the ands and ums and all that stuff, pretty high density stuff. And I'm working on editing a video right now on a trading strategy within it, using a couple EMAs as well that I'll release likely to the. I haven't decided if that's gonna. Yeah, it'll probably be for everybody. Just so I'm making a series of 10 tutorial videos essentially. And I'm editing video number 8. Let's see here. I think this trend line is going to hold it up enough to push this up to the top of the point of control at 14 cents. This looks like this line is going to hold, and it wants to hit 14 cents. And this line, let's see here, depending on the timing, this line could get the bottom. So yeah, look at that. Look at that shit. Where does that go to? Where did they cross? February of 2023. That actually could be exactly what happens. That could be exactly what happens. Wow. That's weird that it points exactly to February. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and that would be as low as 3 cents. That'd be just under 3 cents, so that'd be 280, like 280 up to 3 cents. 280 up to 300, right, with a zero in front. Yeah, 2.8 cents to 3 cents would kind of be my guess if February is close to timing for bottom. What else is that? Yeah, that's, you just asked HGR, so that's what I'm seeing. So if you make plans mentally to pick this up, wait until 3 to 4 cents, that would probably be a good idea, because it looks pretty probable. Kind of like Veracity has a highly probable area for bottom. Well, not everything does. I mean, Bitcoin, honestly, Bitcoin's bottom, I don't think it's very probable. I'm picking anything right now. I don't think there's a clear winner of what's most probable. But Veracity in this one, it looks fairly obvious. All right. I'm going to zoom into Bitcoin, see how they're playing with the 3 lines that I've asked everybody to draw. Look at that, still between those two. Draw these lines or I'll punch you in the face. So I knew they're going to be important. That's why I said that on my last video. I'll punch you if you don't draw these lines. All right. I wouldn't be dealing with. I gave my final word on time. I would do fundamental analysis first, and depending on what you find, then I gave the 2 options. I don't know if it's a good buy. You have to do the fundamental analysis first. You need to figure out why that happened, and if there's just no why fundamentally with the project, then it's going to go straight back down, and it's a horrible time to buy. It'd actually be the time to sell some so you could buy it back like half price, essentially, which is what I do on Dash. I've more than doubled my Dash since February. Even though the US dollar value of more than double Dash is less than what I started, significantly, but I have doubled the Dash. That's called an accumulation strategy during a bear market. I would not do that with more than like 15-20% of your portfolio. Pick a few altcoins to trade on spot only, to only get more of those coins regardless of the price and regardless of the value of all those coins. You just want more of the coins. That's an accumulation strategy, but I'm only doing that with one coin, essentially, is Dash mostly. I wanted to do it with Mover as well, but Mover has just gone down. It hasn't created enough highs for me to sell, essentially. It's just been too weak. So I kind of got burned with that idea. That's why you don't want to do it with a lot of your portfolio. I thought I was going to be cool with Mover going here. Let me show you the difference here. Yeah, I got burned with that decision making. That's one of my worst plays. I was starting to DCA back from fucking, sorry, use that. I don't usually use the F word. Back, I don't know, embarrassingly high. Probably around $70. I might have even bought it. I think I bought some here too. I think I started DCing at just under $120. It did go up, but not. I wanted to sell here, so I held the loss. And then I actually did have a chance to sell there, not for sure, and I might have bought back lower. But since then, it's just, I don't know. It just seems that it's just too damn straight down. I don't really like it. However, viewing it in this chart, it actually looks like it was tradable. So maybe I'm just giving excuses where, you know what? Maybe I would have been able to trade this had I just concentrated a little harder. This actually does look kind of tradable, now that I think of it. During this time here, yeah, it was untradeable. There's nothing to do. And here also. So I guess since I only missed out on at least, so if I started DCAing there, I guess I had 3 good opportunities out of that whole time since February when I started. So it's not, and I think I did take I think I did sell twice, so 2 of those 3. But yeah, since April, there's been nothing to do, and so my holdings, I can't increase my mover because I'm not getting the moves I need. But Dash, on the other hand, I've been able to trade for more. It's had a lot of plays. All right, VRA. Where are you on XRP? Still see a low of 15 cents? Yeah, one of these boxes, I mean, that I have is going to be the bottom, most likely. Yeah, 15 looks likely. That would be this third box. Yep, between 16 to 20. Could be up here. Could be 22 to 27. But I'm thinking more 15 to 20 in this box. Yes, sir. Yeah, the euro's the euro's at parity with the dollar. It's actually the euro is tanking versus the dollar, so it's not very stable. But it is now at parity with the dollar. Yes, which means it's worth $1. 1 euro is worth $1, which hasn't been the case in quite a while, if ever. I can't remember. I don't have the chart memorized, but I think it had happened early when the fiat experiment happened. Or maybe it started off under $1, then went up to like $1.60. I can't really remember the chart. But I have a team leader has me look at it quite a bit because he lives in Europe. All right. Very tiny country in Europe. Okay. VRA. Yeah, let's look at Veracity. I haven't looked at Veracity in quite a while, and I know a lot of people still like it. One thing I can say about Veracity as I'm pulling up the chart here is their new tokenomics outlook. It did have a positive vibe to it, the way it was written, but that doesn't mean the information therein is bullish. So anybody who is a fan of VRA, you need to look at it because what a feedback of a few people were, and again, I don't know the credibility of these sources, whom I'm about ready to paraphrase / quote. I don't know the validity of it, but I need you, as a viewer of this, if you like Veracity, to listen to what I'm about to say. A couple of the feedbacks were, it's essentially become, they scrapped their plan for doing proof of view and have become an ecosystem for NFT crap. That is, and I've seen a few people say that the new release of tokenomics and the new plan, it almost looks as if their original idea of what they were wanting to do with, their marketing of, we have a patent, it almost looks like they're not planning on doing that anymore. Like they tried that business avenue, didn't work. Oh, what's next? Okay, NFT space or something to that effect. But I don't know the validity of that. So please, if you're planning on trying to get this during the bear market, I want you to understand the validity of that and understand the new tokenomics and the new stuff they released. I'm not a fundamentalist, so I didn't spend my time. And I got 4 kids. I can't do that shit anymore. But I can't look at fundamentals all the time. All right. Veracity, I mean, this green line looks, I don't know, fairly obvious to me. How big of a drop would that be? 70% from current price. 98%. That looks about right. It might come up shy of that. It might stop at this. I thought, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. I thought I had... Yeah, there you go. That makes more sense. I did. Okay, good. I was going to say, it could be a little, yeah, I think it will stop here. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this is a little much. I was like 70% from current price is a little too much. Yeah, this is my guess. Now, a more bearish guess would be down here. This would be the ultimate bearish, right at exactly a tenth of a penny. A tenth, 001, 001. That would be a very bearish one, but 002, I think around here, 002 is a pretty obvious area. 0019 area is just this box. looks like where the bottom's going to be. Now, short-term time frame stuff, let me take this back off. Yep. And delete that. That's a horrible channel. Before I started making them sexier. I'll keep the origin lines on. I might have to increase the origin lines like so. Yikes. Man. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at this another way, this is November. In order for that, man, maybe it's not obvious. Shit. So if the bottom is in November, which is I think earlier than what my real guess is, that means this is going to go sideways for a long time by force, or up then back down and essentially sideways. So essentially, yeah, sideways for a long time, and I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe if capitulation happened real hard, real soon, and Bitcoin went down to 14 or 10K by August. The only way that this would be the bottom is if Bitcoin has a strong capitulatory event soon. I would say before September 1st. So in the next 2 months, or month and a half actually. Yeah, month and a half. That's only a month and a half. Wow. Oof. Getting old makes the time freaking fly. But anyway, yeah, then a capitulation of it would have to happen within the next 45 to 50 days in order for this box to hold up. The chances of that are not horrible, but if this were the box, that is a that is a necessity of this being the bottom. And if you don't see that happen, then you need to realize that Veracity is probably coming down to a penny. If we don't get a strong capitulatory event within the next 15 days, in which Veracity could come down and bounce off this and then go sideways, okay, that can work. But if Bitcoin keeps going sideways without a capitulation of it, this will keep bleeding. Like this could probably continue going down as Bitcoin goes sideways. And then Bitcoin capitulates and boom, it comes way down here to a penny. So I kind of take back that this is still a really good target, this box, the red zone, but I think I am going to renege on what I was mentioning earlier about it being obvious. So short-term time frames, let's see if it got 3 strikes. No, it did not get 3 strikes. I don't know. It looks like people are kind of bailing on this coin is what this price action's telling me. This looks like bot trading to me, or a lot of wash trading. I don't think real people are really dealing with this. I wouldn't, gosh, I don't know if I would piss with this on small term time frames trying to trade it or anything. I wouldn't try this on futures, which I actually think is on futures now, which is stupid. Something this small of cap should not be traded on futures. Just absolutely ridiculous. But and plus you wouldn't have any volume. You wouldn't have any liquidity. You wouldn't be able to get in and out of positions. So I wouldn't try it there, and I wouldn't try it on spot. This doesn't look good. But if I had to make a guess, I mean, the most bullish thing I could see is coming back and getting rejected by this origin line because it had a double failure pattern and never got rejected. So it could have a nice little rally. If Bitcoin were to have a rally here, this could go up 20% easily, and that would take you to about 5 cents. I could see that happening in the short-term time frame, and it meets with this horizontal over here by all these wicks down, right, and this wick up. It aligns with that pretty well. Let's put a box there. Lines with that area. So wick down, wick down, wick up, wick up. So wick up meets with this wick down. This wick up meets with that wick down. Yeah, and that's right in the middle. So I can see it coming to 5 cents if Bitcoin allows it to. Because this is bleeding versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin would have to go up beyond 21K, probably in the 22Ks in order for that to happen. Bitcoin would have to have a serious bounce actually from here for that to happen. But if it doesn't happen, then what's most likely is that it stays. Man, this is bad. This is really bad. Gosh. I would say it would stay somewhere close to this trajectory there on either side of it. So let's go like this. So if Bitcoin does not get a great bounce, I think most of price action will fit in this line for an extended period of time. So mostly inside of it, sometimes get above it, you know, mostly inside, sometimes get below it, something to that effect. I would just kind of do a rotated rectangle through the middle of, so since the last big drop there, okay, big drop. So since then you can see that the speed with which it fell was greater here, and now the speed with which it's falling is a little less. So this angle here versus this angle, see, it's a lot less. See that? But it'll probably maintain in this trajectory. And yeah, so draw a rotated rectangle from May of 2022 and kind of, you know, pause the screen and make it look like this. And I'm on the 2-hour time frame. And again, that goes back to May of 2022, and most of price action will probably stay in there. But if it does go above, I gave you the exact area of where it'll probably go. Yeah, XRP does XRP. It'll go sideways as long as it wants to. It could be, yeah, honestly, XRP does have a chance of already having been at a bottom. More than anything, even more than Bitcoin, in my opinion. Because XRP moves just, yeah, it succumbs to Bitcoin's and crypto's bear markets, but man, if it decided to, it really could just stop. It could. I wouldn't bet on that happening. I wouldn't sell my house to buy XRP now, but it does have a chance, I think, greater than anything else out there. Partly because of the news surrounding it, right? It looks like SEC will do their final ruling and let them go with us, or maybe slap on the hand at best, or at worst. And the SEC will probably want to move on to attack another crypto, but do their homework before. So what's going to happen here is, with the SEC ruling of Ripple/XRP, even if they're good, crypto's not safe, and the SEC will do their homework a lot more, so they get a win. And they're the next coin that makes big news about SEC. The SEC probably has a significant chance of winning because they're going to do their homework first, and they're going to choose a large layer one. That's exactly what's going to happen. It would be awesome if they could wait till next bear market. If that were to happen during a bull market, that would really screw things up. 2024. Yeah, the timing of that, it's going to happen. Yeah, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. You heard it here first, or maybe second. I think that's something we've talked about within the Discord community, so I don't even know if that's my idea. I think I might be taking information from a conversation. All right, within Discord. Because my VIPs, they're good, and my team leaders, they're good about educating me on what's going on in crypto. So, anyway. Yeah, VRA looks pretty bad. But the trajectory has slowed down a little bit. All right, hit that low before. I'm okay buying 20. Yep. All right, can we take a look at ETH? Yeah, hell yeah, we can look at ETH. ETH is my favorite coin to trade. Even more so than Cardano. I only like to short Cardano. I don't like trying to long that shit. Every time I try to long Cardano, it just fucking goes sideways as Bitcoin pumps 10% and Cardano just freaking sits there. And then right when I get out to go hunt something else, then it goes up. Like every time. Jeez, Cardano. But for shorting, Cardano is king. Oh, I'm on Bitcoin. Dirt, Tim. Ethereum. We're taking a look at Ethereum. This chart gets a little busy. So let me start by getting rid of some of these rectangles. These blue things that I'm getting rid of, these are the horizontal supports. But I'm going to look at this double-decker channel first. And let's zoom out to see the context of this. It's been in, at least the top. So it's broken out of this top channel. So here it went above the top line. This is another total channel, right? So from bottom channel, top to channel, new channel. So from here, that is, it starts back in April of 2022. So this is not long enough of a time frame. So let me look how long it's been in this channel. 100 days. I would not count this as a macro channel as I do have for Bitcoin and Cardano. Both Bitcoin and Cardano have a nice, pretty channel that goes back to its all-time highs. Their all-time highs and many, many months. So I have macro channels for both. But for Ethereum, this is a midterm time frame channel. A good one. It's 100 days in. But just for context, the rules of channels are going to be less rigid here. All right. I mean, I'm really surprised it didn't come down here. I would be shocked if it doesn't try down here first, at least get close down to $1,000. That would be really weird for it to stop between two channel lines like this. Let me look at some other stuff. So as it's going down, yeah, I mean, look. So as it's going down here, from channel line to channel line, it stopped to that channel line. It doesn't stop in the middle. So from here to here, it doesn't stop in the middle. It just doesn't like to do that. That's how the channels, at least in the downward action, that's how it works. So again, all this move from here to here, once it got rejected from here, you knew with a high certainty that because you got rejected from this orange line here, so let me, right there, you knew that it was probably going to hit this line. Did it take a while to get there? Hell yeah, it did. But it did it. Because that's the rules of the channel. Oh, it only took 2 days. I guess that wasn't too long. I'm on the 5-minute chart, by the way. And then when it got below here, so let's say, oh, I'm trying to catch a bottom. Well, it's not going to stop in the middle. It already went below this. It's got to touch this one. I mean, it's literally that basic. It's possible it breaks the rule, but man, it looks kind of likely it's going to hit that. This would be, I think, the first rule breakage of going down that would have happened on Ethereum. So therefore, the likelihood of that happening is not very high. But Bitcoin and the stock market, the stock market could influence this to break a rule, which is what I was saying in Bitcoin earlier, right? So with my Bitcoin analysis, I said, it can't, it's not supposed to stop here. So actually kind of a similar context, but it's in the middle of its point of control. Bitcoin is, right? Which is the orange and black stuff, like this. This is the Ethereum's double-decker point of control. Bitcoin's in the middle of it, coming down from essentially here to stopping here, and it doesn't have permission to do that. It's got to come all the way down here, right? Similar boats. They're both statistically likely to go down. But if SPX and IXIC, so S&P 500 and NASDAQ, did truly bake in the bad news for Wednesday the 13th, July 13th, with core CPI data, if it's already baked in, then I guess it could break a rule. And where would it go? I mean, it would have one of two most likely things. If a bounce happens here, it would either hit a 45-degree angle and stop from this high, and then make lower lows, and then hit that line, which could happen. Or it goes all the way up to this line and then gets rejected. And that would be all the way up at almost $1,100. So that aligns with this, probably a blue horizontal that I have. So let me put those back on. Nope, it's in one now. So this is more of a macro one. Man, this honestly, gosh, this would have to break two rules. It's gone below a horizontal and used it as resistance. So this blue line, this blue box, is a horizontal, and it's not just one line, it's a box. So it's gone below the box and it's using it as resistance. So that is agreeing with a high probability this is going to go down to $1,000 first. This agrees. So yeah, horizontals are kind of independent of channels, but I use them in congruence to each other and when they agree. So honestly, Team Bears might be more probable. But I don't know if Bitcoin has that same thing, but at least on the Ethereum chart, it definitely leans strong towards Team Bear down to $1,000 first. And so the level, if it doesn't go down first, from this, so this horizontal, if you want to get it, it's at 1043, call it 1044. it's not getting these tops perfectly. So the tops, so it's a bunch of failures. Rejection, failure, 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 failure. So it's not getting rejected from here perfectly. It's failing it, but the line is still there though. All right. And again, failure just means it goes above a line, but then can't hold it as support. It goes above a line, can't. It's almost like a dolphin. So this is the ocean, this is the air. It's a dolphin. Woo, woo. That's failure. All right. Failure. Dolphins are a failure. All right. Anyway, let's see here, Ethereum. So yeah, it looks like it looks like it's gonna come straight to $1,000 to me. If we do see a bounce, because stock market did bake price in of the bad news tomorrow, it'll either come up to 1070 area, maybe even the top of this channel. Actually, you know what? It'll probably, if it's gonna come here, it's gonna at least hit that. So it'll probably come up to 1074, or it could continue on and hit this local high here and this channel line at 10. Let's just call it 1090. So either $1,000, so just down now, or 1070 then down, or number 3, 1090 then down. But in each case, my 3 best guesses what happens over the next 72 hours or 3 days. My best 3 guesses involve down. It just matters what happens before it goes down. And those would be my 3 best guesses for Ethereum. All right, I got kids screaming outside. Yeah, you have a giant schnauzer too, yeah. They are very attentive to you because they were bred to be herd dogs, guard dogs. Yeah, giant schnauzers. I did not know this. So I googled what's the bite force strength of schnauzers, because this dude likes to play catch, and when he's feeling ornery and doesn't want to give me the ball, I typically don't play tug of war. I just walk away until he drops it. But a couple of times though, I just really wanted the ball, and I tried with all my force to open his jaws, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, wow, I could open a mastiff, like a Great Dane, a Daniff's, as a mixture of a Dane and a Mastiff. I could open its mouth, Great Dane's mouths. You know, like hell, one time a neighbor's Great Dane came up and bit my Doberman. And I opened its mouth like like as it was attacking. I stuck my hands in the dog's mouth. So I know, I have a decent understanding of jaw strength, and I could not budge him. And I looked it up. They have tied for the fourth or fifth, whatever. It's like kind of with mastiffs. But among all dogs, they're like number 4 or 5 out of all dogs' bite strength. It's double pit bulls. They bite their jaw strength, their bite pounds per square inch is more than double a pit bull's. That's crazy. Yeah, they are strong animals. Man, they're strong. A lot stronger than I thought. Yeah, pound for pound, they're probably among the strongest dogs too, I would say. He's something else. I never knew much about Schnauzer breeds, but because this dog was essentially dumped on me by one of my wife's friends. It was moving or something. But anyway, B-Pro. Yeah, let's take a look at B-Pro. B-Pro, I haven't looked at it. All right, and then I got to wrap up after this, everybody, but we're going to take a look at the coin that started off my YouTube journey. This is too small of a time frame. Here we go. I'm on the 12-hour chart on B-Pro. Well, it looks like because this was among the coins that started their bear market earliest, right? And I was live on YouTube saying this at the top at the exact, like almost down to the same hour, but it's the same day. I think it was March 16th, and I made a video that day. You can skip to minute 32 minutes, 30 seconds in, and that's when that moment happens. It looks like this could be one of those coins where it has such an obvious spot that any price movement below it, it has a strong chance to gravitate right back up to this. That level could be the next thing down. So it's not to say you're safe, necessarily 100% safe, but if it went way down, for example, from this area, I think it would have a strong likelihood of bouncing right back towards 1.5 cents quickly. So that means this is a safe DCA area, because if you saw yourself at 50% down, which that looks probably around 70% down, right, on that portion of your dollar cost average purchase, it's likely that you would just need to take a nap for 2 weeks, and then that part it prices back up there. I think this is a strong candidate, but that idea might apply to the next horizontal down. So I don't know which one is going to do that, but because of all this obvious area, it's going to be either down here or up here. So around 1.5 cents or 0.008 or something. And that horizontal, of which that will probably be true. I don't know which one, but just pick, just draw the same thing and make two options. So yes, if it were the one below, it could break all-time lows, right? But it's going to gravitate back up to all this price action. So that makes this a fairly safe dollar cost average. But let me tell you, fairly safe. All things relative. Relative to buying gold, that's extremely risky. This is crypto. You're essentially dealing with penny stocks, and companies can go under any time. So I'm not saying anything bad about BPRO. I'm not talking about BPRO. I'm talking about all crypto, right? So I said the words fairly safe, and I realized that my words that I say, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not supposed to influence your buying decisions. However, on some people that might be true, unfortunately. So I need to be very careful what I'm saying. This could end up all going away for all altcoins, right? So, and I said relatively safe. That doesn't mean like buy $10,000 of it here. That could all go to zero, right? It's not safe compared to buying gold. If I had 10K and I was forced to pick one, BPRO or gold, well, right now I'd probably go into gold. I definitely would at this time, for example, right? So I want to be careful with what I'm truly meaning with fairly safe, relative in the context of crypto, which all of crypto is freaking risky as hell, including Bitcoin. I mean, it has 80% drops. It's risky, all right? Particularly for people who don't understand, 80% drops are going to happen. All right, and so short-term price action, I would say it could easily come up to the top of the box. But if I found it at one, so with two zeros in front, so look right here with two zeros in front, if it came up to 160, I would probably become a seller of expecting to use that same tether with which I got from selling at 160. So with two zeros, so 0.00160. It's probably going to bounce in this area, and I don't really see it rallying much above there. If it got in a massive rally, massive for this point in the bear market, I would say 225, 225, but realistically, 160 is probably going to be a pretty hard resistance that BPRO won't be able to get over until it's crawling out of the bear market, along with both Bitcoin and all the altcoins. So, and again, that could be, and for perspective, I'm about to tell you something like that's not going to be fun to hear. And what better coin than BTC? So I hold BPRO. I don't want this to go down either. I think I've DCA'd 25% of the amount of US dollars that I want to buy. Okay, so I've DCA'd a quarter into it. I did it in this box. Should have waited, but whatever. And so I've DCA'd into this. But it's possible that this line, it's possible that BPRO doesn't get over it until late 2023 or to mid 2024. I need you to understand this, because in a bear market, when you pull out, especially small alts, as Bitcoin starts, making, going back to 30K, 40K, but not all-time highs, BPRO's probably going to go sideways, and it could stay under this line for a whole year and a half after it drops down. It could be 2024 till BPRO's back over 0.00162. It could be 2 years, actually. I'm telling you, it might be that long. So I need you to draw that box on your chart and go to the 12-hour. Let's see here. What chart do you need to be on? You need to be on the daily chart in order to go out 2 years. It could be 2 years until it's back above this guy. 2 freaking years. Could be that long. And I want you to, really get that. So even if you do think you're genius by buying BPRO down there, it's going to be a long time until you potentially reap the rewards from the risk you took. It's going to be a while. So just understand those expectations. And if you don't believe me and you're just sitting there and this applies to all altcoins, especially small caps. So Solana, Matic, Ethereum, okay, not so much. But small caps, it's going to be a while. And if you're sitting there as a person who's not believing in me, it's because you don't want to believe me. And I already know the reason why. It's because you're holding it. And you bought it, too long ago. And you're sticking around like you're hurting. I get it. But you have to realize that's why you're not believing me, because you're holding it. And you want it to go up now. And you're not making money from shorting. I know all those things are true. If you don't believe me. Because if that weren't true, then you're not holding BPRO and you want to buy it lower. You would love to buy it way under, like with triple zeros. Hell yes, let that happen. Because I'm not holding a ton of it yet, right? I'm a fan of BPRO, but I want it to go down because I want more of it. So, but what I was saying earlier is a little bit different. The time in which you'll reap the benefits, right? Reap what you sow. It could be a long, long time. All right, I'm going to have to wrap up with that. I'm getting called for dinner for a third time, and we'll see you all on Thursday.